Lydia, a young artist with eyes full of dreams and a heart hungry for inspiration, found her muse in the most unexpected place, a dilapidated manor perched precariously on the edge of town. The house stood shrouded in whispers, its darkened windows like vacant eyes staring out at the world. Locals spoke of cold drafts, unexplained noises, and shadows that danced even when the sun was at its peak. But Lydia, captivated by the house's eerie beauty, dismissed these tales as mere folklore. This house, with its crumbling facade and overgrown ivy, held a story. Lydia was determined to be the one to tell it. The moment Lydia stepped across the threshold, a shiver snaked down her spine. The air inside was heavy, thick with the scent of dust and decay. It felt like stepping into a forgotten memory. Despite the unsettling atmosphere, Lydia felt a thrill course through her. This was it. This was the adventure she craved, the escape from the mundane that her art desperately needed. She envisioned her easel by the grand arched window, the play of light and shadow on her canvas, the whispers of the house fueling her creativity. She spent the next few days unpacking and settling in. The house, despite its decrepit state, held a melancholic charm. Sunbeams, filtering through the dusty windows, illuminated particles of dust, creating ephemeral constellations in the air. The creaking floorboards beneath her feet sang a mournful song, a melody from a bygone era. Lydia, lost in her artistic fervor, found beauty in the decay, poetry in the silence. The silence, however, didn't last long. As days turned into nights, Lydia started noticing things. A book misplaced, a floorboard creaking when no one was around, the distinct feeling of being watched. Then came the whispers. They started subtly, like the rustling of leaves outside a window, but soon they grew bolder, slithering out from the shadows, seeming to coil around her, whispering her name. Sleep became elusive. Each time she closed her eyes, the whispers intensified, morphing into guttural murmurs, sending shivers down her spine. The shadows, too, seemed to take on a life of their own. They stretched and contorted in the corners of her vision, appearing more menacing in the flickering candlelight. Fear, a cold fist, began to tighten around Lydia's heart. Her sanctuary was slowly transforming into a prison of fear. One night, as Lydia sat by the fireplace, a sudden cold draft slammed a door shut. The sound, sharp and unexpected, jolted her from her uneasy slumber. Her heart pounded against her ribs, each thump a frantic rhythm against the suffocating silence that followed. The whispers, emboldened by her fear, grew louder, circling her like vultures, their voices a chilling chorus of dread. Lydia, once enamored by the house's mysteries, was now caught in its web of terror. Fear was a relentless tide, threatening to pull her under. But Lydia was not one to succumb easily. A spark of defiance ignited within her. She would not let fear drive her away. This house held secrets, and she was determined to uncover them. Her curiosity, now intertwined with a primal fear, became her only compass. The whispers seemed to originate from the basement. A heavy, iron-wrought door, bolted and padlocked, guarded the entrance. Each time Lydia passed by it, a cold gust of wind seemed to emanate from it, sending shivers down her spine. The whispers, too, intensified near the door, their voices laced with an urgency that both terrified and beckoned her. The basement, she realized, held the key to the house's secrets. One evening, armed with a crowbar and a flickering lantern, Lydia stood before the basement door. The whispers seemed to claw at her, urging her forward. With a deep breath, she broke the padlock. The door creaked open, releasing a musty, earthy smell. A wave of cold air hit her, extinguishing her lantern, plunging her into absolute darkness. Lydia took a hesitant step forward, the floorboards groaning ominously beneath her weight. The whispers intensified, their voices a cacophony of dread and anticipation. The air grew heavy, thick with unseen menace. Lydia's hand, trembling, reached out, feeling her way through the suffocating darkness. Each whisper that brushed against her skin sent a fresh wave of terror through her. The darkness felt alive, a sentient entity closing in on her,